All right, all right. Thanking the Lord for so much. Hope everybody's doing well on this beautiful and blessed Monday morning. God bless you. Giving a great shout out to everybody. You all know who you are. In this video, I want to talk about salvation for a moment. Salvation, which is seeming to be overlooked a lot nowadays. Now, most religious folks probably don't want to look at this video because they're going to say, well, you just trying to reach the people in the world, and ain't nothing like that, because it's more people in the church need to be reached. Somebody catch that later on. But whoever you are looking at this video, if you don't go to church, I want to tell you something in this video, that just because you don't go to church don't mean you are far away from God and that you don't have your relationship with God. Now, I'm not down in church. I'm not talking about no church. Let's get that straight off top. I'm talking about something that we missing out on: salvation, and the word repenting, and wanting to be able to see God. Because I know I'm talking to y'all for a reason in this video, because a lot of people on here that I talk to that look at these videos don't go to church, and they have been turned away from the church. But I'm here to let you know, just because you don't go to church, that don't mean that the people sitting in church is closer to God than you are. Matter of fact, it ain't even got nothing to do with how many days out of the week you go to church, how many years you go to church. Because a lot of people sitting in church don't know who the Lord is. They know what religion is. So when I think about y'all in this video, and I think about how people look down on people who don't go to church, and you always got somebody trying to make you go to church, make you come to their church when their church ain't even straightened up. And then they wonder why you back at home. And a lot of people are sitting at home for a good reason, just my opinion, because there's good reasons to me why people leave church. Because if God is moving you around, well, hey, that's on you and God. Now, here's the thing I want to address in this video that me and Pop was talking about the other night when we was talking about salvation. Pop, you said something that really stuck to me, and I wanted to bring it out in this video because I was thinking about this probably about 5 months ago, talking to another preacher. You popped the question on, when the preacher gets in the pulpit and he say, how many people in here are saved? And everybody in the church throw their hands up. Everybody is saved, right? And then he just got through preaching the salvation message. So who did that message really reach? Well, what's your point, JT? Well, if everybody sitting in the church are saved like they throw their hands up to be, why are we not going on the outside of the church? Why are we not going after the ones that ain't so-called saved? Y'all already know what my take is on this being saved. But why, let me say lost. Why are we not going after the lost? See, this is why Jesus told us about the lost sheep. When one astrays, how you go after that one. But see, we have forgotten that nowadays. That's why I say that one has turned into millions. So a lot of people have left church, but they haven't left God. I always love to talk to the people in the country who sit on their porch and they don't go to church because they're not caught in religion. They have a relationship with God. But why is it when it comes to salvation, we don't talk about it enough? Everybody in the church throw their hands up and say they are saved. Well, why are we spending all our time on the saved people? That's my question. But when you see the homeless man, when you see the prostitute, when you see that sinful man, that drunk man, when you see all of these people who you look down on, instead of reaching out to them, you walk past them and talk about them. If everybody in the church is saved, why isn't the black churches reaching out to the black community? See, this is why people don't like when I speak what I speak, because a lot of people sitting in the church got more problems than the ones that they talking about in the world. A lot of people are using church as a cover-up just to say, I went to church today, I sung in the choir today, I'm on the deacon board, I'm a secretary, I'm this, I'm that. But really, how close are they to God? Salvation is a beautiful thing. When Jesus died on the cross, shedded his blood, said it is finished, that meant so much, people. That meant so much. And that's a good thing, Pop. I know most religious folks don't want to hear that, but I see this in pretty much every church I go to. That preacher say, show of hands, I know everybody in the building is saved. Well, if everybody in the building is saved and you still preaching on preaching the salvation message, and then some of y'all preaching this feel good sermon and begging for money sermons and want to sell Jesus, want to sell salvation, what is the church really doing? How is it you call yourself doing God business, and here it is a homeless man laying behind your church with hardly nothing to wear and nothing to eat, and nobody reaches out to that homeless man? Or here is this woman sitting in the church who have lost her husband, and she got her 3 or 4 kids, and she's struggling just to pay her house note or electric bill or something, but we look past that. Or here it is, these children don't have shoes on their feet. Somebody done lost their job. It's a lot of people sitting in the church that need help, but they are not being helped. But we sitting here claiming that I love the Lord. Didn't Jesus tell us the poor was going to always be amongst us? Didn't he say how you supposed to care for the needy? But my problem is, why is these churches kicking the needy to the curb? I don't recall Jesus doing that ever once. Now, we know people do what they do, but are you telling them about salvation? See, this is why the churches are setting a bad example. Not all churches. Let's say that off top. Not all churches, but a majority of these churches are setting a bad example on the way Jesus was. Now we done made Jesus a religion. Now we done made Jesus a beggar for money. Now we done made Jesus a outdress each other contest. Now we done made the house of God out of a joke. If everybody in the church is already saved, why do the church have so many problems? Uh-oh. That's the question of the day. Everybody sitting in a sanctuary ain't a Christian. Everybody sitting in the pulpit ain't doing the will of the Father. Everybody that you call a minister of music or musicians, they ain't doing the will of God. You need to understand that. So when it comes to this whole thing about salvation and reaching out, outreaching, where is it? Where is it? And that's so deep to me, Pop, that I had to put this in this video with the salvation because I see that so much. How many people throw their hands up? Oh, yes, I know Jesus. I've been saved 1950. I'm delivered. I'm this, I'm that. And we preaching salvation messages to people who don't need to hear it, if that's the case. That's why I used to love when I go downtown and see the preacher standing out there in the middle of the block in front of everybody preaching on salvation. Because he knows there's somebody in them hoods, on them streets. There's some prostitutes out there. There's some hoes out there. There's some thugs out there. There's some pimps. There's some dope dealers. These are the people we supposed to be reaching out to. Why, I'm going to say this again, why are so many people trying to spend all their time on the ones that sit in the church that's supposed to be already saved? See, the Bible teaches me to go after that one, but it's past one. This is why I'm past the building. You can't even reach your own brothers, can you? See, this is why salvation it's powerful. A lot of people can't reach their own brother. You can't even reach your own mama. You can't even reach your wife in so many ways. You can't reach your kids so many ways. So you sitting here talking about I'm saved and all this salvation, but you got people in your own home you can't even reach. This is why you got to get past the building. Next to God, all we have is each other. Yes, we know that salvation, we know that this is an individual thing. We got to fight for our own salvation. We know that. But the Bible teaches us to encourage others, to help others, to feed the needy, to help the poor, to invite in the sinners. But we can't invite the sinners in the church. I know the door's supposed to stay open, but we can't get nobody in the church because the church won't get in order. We got too much mess in the church. The church got too many sins in there, sinful people. I was talking to this guy on the block the other day. He said the reason why he left his church because the youth pastor was sleeping around with some of the young women in the church. And that caused that brother to leave the church. Then wound up getting one of the young girls pregnant. This man was about 45 years old. The kid wasn't nothing but maybe 19 or 20. And this youth pastor was married. Now, I'm not saying this to down the brother I'm praying for. He ain't the only one falling. My point is, how are we going to invite people in the church and the church ain't going to get right? It's a lot of repenting need to go on in the house of God. It's a lot of folks need to be set down. It's a lot of people in position that don't need to be in the position. But see, we can't do the separating, can we? But why are we steady voting in people in a position that don't need to be in position? And then you want to talk about people while they sitting at home and have left the church. Well, my point is, I'm going to say this again. If all these people who are sitting at home are better, closer with God than the ones in the church, you might as well close the church, board up that building. Because it doesn't make sense to keep going into a building Sunday after Sunday, a building that's full of messed up people who ain't going to get it right. Who knows what's right, but choose to do wrong. It's a lot of reprobated minds, ain't it? Somebody know what that reprobated mind mean? He's spending all this time on mess. People go to church Sunday after Sunday, year after year, Wednesday after Wednesday, Tuesday after Tuesday, crying over a building fund. Having bake sales and carnivals, lock-ins, and all this stuff, which is good, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to the real deal stuff, people can't wake up. It's sad. We got a lot of people falling down in ministry. A lot. Trust me. So when you down in people that stay at home, religious folks, be careful who you down and looking down on, because you sure ain't better than they are. Just because you got your favorite seat on Sunday morning sitting in your same spot don't make you no righteous than nobody else. Matter of fact, you can sit there until you die and go to hell in your favorite church seat. First ladies, it ain't about wearing all these pretty hats and sitting on the front rows looking pretty. Preachers, it ain't about your fancy suits and how many pair of gaiters you gonna buy and beg for money. Y'all better wake up. Deacons, it's too many of y'all sleep on the front row. Y'all sleeping physically and spiritually. Y'all need to wake up. We got a lot of lost people outside of the church who need to be reached, who need to be fed, who need to be clothed, who need to be taught, who need to be led by an example. And the examples ain't looking too pretty in half of these churches. I just got through speaking to my old director, giving a shout out to you, Denise, and we was talking about Revelation in the 7 churches and the lukewarm. There's too many lukewarm churches up. Out of 7 churches, it was only 2 in Revelation. The Lord didn't have too much of a problem with. But nowadays, it ain't just the rest. I mean, let me say it like this. It's more churches he got a problem with than the ones that's doing right. It's a whole lot of messed up churches, a whole lot of messed up folks. People, we got to get it right. Judgment starts in the pulpit. Judgment starts in the house of God. So be careful who's leading you, and be careful what you keep doing week after week, Sunday after Sunday. And I'm going to say this like my big brother Mitty, man, Brother Ernest Walker. If God ain't in it, it's best you stay out of it. God bless you.